Good to see you.
Monique, good to see
Thanks for joining me. I just thought it might be a nice idea to have a wee catch up and a chat about voice over IP telecoms. You and I
you.
met
Absolutely.
at an online networking event, and you want to tell everyone where you're from, what you do in your business?
I own and run Wickham's UK. We're based down in the southeast of England in Kent. Um, Basically helping micro and small businesses streamline the telecoms and take away the hassle. A
Indeed,
full suite of
indeed.
solutions.
Because you are now doing our phone system, VoIP phone system, which has been fantastic compared to the last one we had. So much easier to use, so much more user friendly, and you saved me money, which was a big bonus. So
Absolutely. That's great to.
we've got that all in place now, and you were really good hand holding me through the setup, etc. So thanks very much for that. Do you
You're very
find
welcome.
networking is a good source of new referrals and business for you and connections?
Yeah, a big part of the business currently does come through networking, and building them connections up and the referral partners that come from that. But yeah, essentially it all stems from networking.
Yeah, because we're at opposite ends of the country, aren't we? I'm up in Glasgow here, but you're down there in
Yeah.
Kent, and I think you did get another referral for one of the members that are up in Scotland as well.
That's
So
right. Yeah, we've seen. Yeah, I think we're up to three, about to be four clients in Scotland now.
broken the
Um,
barrier.
Absolutely, that's it. Just need to go across to Wales now. So
Yep. So, in terms of, do you want to tell us about voice over IP? A lot of people probably have heard about it, VoIP,
yeah,
but they might not really understand what it does and the benefits it could bring to their business.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah. Quite a few people probably hear the term VoIP and think it's one of them acronyms, and they either nod and agree or they know what it's about. But yeah, essentially it stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. It's a long one, but that still means jargon to most people. But essentially, it routes calls over the internet rather than down the traditional analog phone lines, which are on their way out. So Openreach are switching off the analog phone lines by January 27. So essentially, anyone want to keep that landline presence will need to go down the route of a VoIP system of some description. Um, yeah, so many benefits to it, but the biggest ones are flexibility and scalability and the cost effectiveness.
I think for
Um,
me, I'm just going to get the phone here. So this is our work phones. Um, we've got the app on all the phones. We can
yeah,
have the soft phone on the desktop. You can have a physical phone, I guess, as well.
you can.
But we have got the app on the phone, which is really handy if you're out and about or you want calls transferred over to you if you're not in the office. And, it's a wee free app on there. It's great. You can transfer calls. So you don't, I think people think, phone systems, you have to have a traditional phone on a desk. Not these
That's it.
days. You just have on mobiles, or you can
Yeah,
just have a soft app on your phone.
yeah.
The only downside to that, I guess, is you need to wear headphones if you're in an office.
Yeah, ideally you do. Yeah, we do see probably about I'd say roughly about 80% of the customers that are coming on board are going for that route, apps only,
Mm-hmm.
and not going down the route of physical phones on their desk anymore. We've got a few that do, but yeah, most of them are going app based and having that complete flexibility and saving a bit of cost as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those handsets can easily be a couple of £100 each.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time you multiply that for a few companies, it adds up.
Yeah, we had
So
handsets in the past, and I know we don't have them anymore. I think at one point one of the chaps was using it for a wee while, but we've all converted to headphones or just on the
yeah,
mobile now. Um,
yeah.
do you find people are scared to move from one supplier to another, over and above like people being locked into contracts? I don't know, maybe that's a thing you can buy people out of contracts. I don't really know how that works. I'm sure you'll tell us, but do you think people are frightened to move?
There's a bit of a fear of the unknown in some cases, um, and some of that is just coming into VoIP altogether because it's completely alien to them. They're used
Mhm.
to having it plugged into the OpenReach socket and They've got their dial tone and functionality there. They don't, sort of they're scared of the unknown bit. But I think the biggest thing we've seen with the switching, it's been a cost saving exercise as much as and some functionality in many cases. So probably the biggest challenge is the contract terms because they can range anything from 12 months to 3 years quite easily, and there's a few that do go further than that. So that is the challenge. Hopefully in the future it'll be something we can offer a buyout, but as it stands, it's rough to wait at the minute for to come across to us. But yes, so there's a bit of the unknown. People get used to what they know.
I think that's the thing. People are scared.
Just
They know what they've
yeah,
got.
exactly.
It kind of
That's
works.
it.
They think
Exactly, that's it.
all phone systems are equal.
Yeah,
What difference would it make? But yeah, I think this case it's the same with IT. People are scared to move. And then they move and think, well, that was actually quite pain-free.
exactly. That is it. This is the thing. The switching process. As you experience yourself, it's do it the right way. It's an easy process, and
Yeah. Because I
things
know
can be
when
like
you did
yeah,
ours, like you basically got all the information beforehand, you set everything up beforehand before we
yeah,
did the switch, and the switch was really straightforward for us because like and probably a lot of other companies do this as well. We use like an 0333 number, which is equivalent to like an 0800 number. It's free to call, isn't it? 0333s. So
yeah,
because that number essentially it's non-geographic. Um, this probably might not suit everybody, but it means that we could just point that number into your new phone system and the calls just automatically started to reroute there. It was dead straightforward. It
yeah,
happened in about 10 minutes or something. But I
yeah,
know
exactly.
the preparation and getting all that set up, because people just don't want any downtime.
And they don't. This is it, and this is where we try and when we do any migrations to it is we'll either do it as a temporary number and redirect, sort of similar to what we've done with yourselves, or we'll have it all set up ready for porting day, and downtime will be minutes rather than hours.
Yeah,
Because we've
yeah.
got to now get a notification that number's come when that number's going to be ported in on the day, and we can have it all set up ready to go. So
And
if one
you'll
system stops, the other one starts.
Yeah, it's that seamless transition. So another thing I guess people would be fearful of is it's a new system. How do I use it? Do you do onboarding? Do you handhold them through this new system? I mean, most phone systems have got the same basic functionality. You're answering calls, you're transferring people on hold, etc. But I know there's a lot
Yeah,
more in terms of
yeah,
what you do, for some businesses may be more complex than that. They might have multi-site offices, etc., different ring
yeah,
groups, hunt groups, voicemail as well, that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
you know, do you do onboarding? Do you do training? Do you handhold them?
Yeah, so we do a lot of hand holding, which is one of the benefits of us, I guess. Um, so we're doing a mixture really. So we'll do a live session. So quite often I'll share when I send out the login credentials for the systems. I'll include a link to booking a time in on my diary, so we can do a live session. And then alongside that, we've got videos as well. So there's little snippets of different types of functionality, different configuration setups, so people can watch that back, at their leisure and multiple times if they need to.
Mhm.
So we do a bit, sort of combination of the two really, with live and some videos pre-done. As you say,
And for me, you did something that was really, really good. I actually use this in my own business as well, where you did an overlay video, a wee explainer video of you in the corner of the video you sent
yeah,
on to me. And you chatted me through that sort of video essentially. You chatted me through how to I think at the time I wanted to change my Christmas messaging and obviously
right,
I
yeah,
read hours over Christmas. So I didn't bother you. You gave me those instructions and there you were chatting away and tell
yeah,
me all the different things. And these new technologies just allow things that we didn't have in the past. You would have to have on-site training sessions and
yeah,
manuals, and technology's really really come a long way in terms of expediting that process for people. Um, and I guess like one of the things that kind of leading on from that in terms of um, advancement of technology is I get asked a lot is about AI and how it affects
Yeah.
technology, how it affects security. Is that something that comes into play with, VoIP systems, phone systems? Do
Yeah.
you ask that question? Where's
Yeah.
AI going?
Oh, so yeah, so AI is taking over, isn't it? It's here to stay, and there are some stuff in the pipeline. There's some might already have some functionality. I know the system that we predominantly sell, there's some AI capabilities coming in with some of the integrations. So a few months ago, I was speaking to our integration partner for the CRM, sort of the CRM integration side of things,
All right.
and a lot of AI is coming in that it will basically take the audio file and transcribe it, upload it as a note in the contact on the CRM system. So you've not even so you just in sort of bullet points take the summary notes of it. So you've not even got to have to sort of transcribe and update your CRM files with that conversation.
Oh, got a
It's
dog
that's
barking.
on its that's all right. So
Just
that
like,
sort of stuff is on its way. It's bonkers.
yeah, it is, isn't it? It's going so fast.
Yeah.
All the different things it can do. And what about security? Is there more risk security wise, from like a traditional phone system, that's in your office, all the gubbins are in a cupboard somewhere,
Yeah.
you're connected onto BT lines, etc. Obviously, VoIP works over internet lines, it's a different technology, and usually there's nothing in the office, it's all in the cloud, it's all managed in
Yeah.
the cloud. Um, I know we spend a lot of our time dealing with cybersecurity. It's a big part of our business for our clients. Is that something that is, a risk, or is it sort of built in? Is it already thought through in terms of the security side?
Yeah, no, it's always thought through, and that's kind of been a key part with anything we've partnered up with and started reselling. Is the security element of it, and obviously, yeah, you say it's all in the cloud, and a lot of data centers. There's a lot of security gone into where that data center is held, through to the connectivity through it all, etc. So it's lots have been invested and lots of focuses on that security element because that's obviously a big talking topic for any businesses, the security aspect of it, and you say cyber from an IT perspective. Um, so yeah, there's so much behind it that takes that concern out, or at least reduces that risk, if nothing else.
Mm.
There's a big focus on the security aspect of it.
And what would a hacker target in a VoIP system? What would they typically try and get to? I mean,
Good
obviously,
question.
like, would they maybe try and stop the calls coming in, like try and get into voicemails maybe, or recordings, I guess.
Yeah,
People do call recording.
that's it. Yeah, it could be the call recordings, contacts. Could be a bit of sort of spoofing the calls.
Oh,
Um, it
what's
could be an
that?
aspect of it. So essentially, if we've been scenarios, people listening to this may have had that, sort of people call tending to be from another company. Um, so they might get as far as presenting your phone number, tending to be you. There's that
Sorry.
possibility out there. There's that possibility out there. We can't shy away from that. Um, but say the risk of the sort of risk behind it. We obviously try and mitigate as much as can possibly, across the telecom industry. But that could be a factor. The same could be said for a mobile number. They could spoof any number. They get the right stuff. They could spoof whatever number they feel like.
Mhm.
So that's where when we're bringing people in. Like yourself, we've got it presenting your 0330 or say 033 number before it was in the system. But obviously we've gone through the measures to make sure that you've got the rights to that number. That is your number before we put it into our system to present that. But also there are obviously hackers out there that go and go and choose a number, pretend to be
Yeah.
people. But so there's that element, I guess, and I guess it's contacts and recordings they could potentially try and attack. But so there are a lot of security measures in there to mitigate that.
Yes, that's the other thing with AI, isn't it? That, spoofing of, it's not, I don't think it's called spoofing, but basically they're impersonating somebody's voice, they learn the voice, they
Yeah.
sound like the person, you know, it's getting quite sophisticated. But I guess
Yeah,
as it evolves, like, there's going to be security that evolves with it that's going to try and mitigate
exactly.
that. Um,
That's it.
it's just
That's one of
moving
the
so
things.
quickly just now.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the key focuses we like with the products that we've got in yourself. We're using ourselves, the same VoIP system we put in yours. We're using ourselves here. That's our number one solution we tend to sell. The thing I like about that is the development team. It's all in house, and they deal. It's a 6 to 8 week development cycle.
Hmm.
So anything that comes up, the development team are constantly on it. So yeah, so security is only going to get hotter and hotter with that,
Mm.
and as well as the functionality and any bugs get smashed and all the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's that constant fight, isn't it, to keep up? Just it never ends. You mentioned um sort of traditional ISDN lines and traditional phone lines, they're all going, aren't they?
That's right. Yes, it started September 2023. They started switching off exchanges. The original goal from Openreach's point of view was originally the end of this year, so December 25.
Right.
That was the original goal, but I think they've realised, that yeah, there's quite a bit of work involved in that, and there's quite a big risk from a sort of vulnerability, from the elderly or the vulnerable that rely on that PSTN for lifelines and things like that. So obviously that's played a part in pushing back that date. So it's now say January 27. But say certain areas certain exchanges have been switched off sort of since September 23 to now. Um, so yeah, it's coming. Um, so I'd encourage anyone that is reliant on that landline to look at the VoIP solution sooner rather than later, just to more than
Yeah,
anything to avoid that mad rush at the end, which you know not speaking for ourselves here, but I can see it, the supply and demand issue and what that does to pricing.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
leave it
It
late.
will go up.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
so
you just leave it to
it's better
that
to do
date.
it exactly. Better to do it sooner rather than later. And residential is obviously not an area we tend to work in, but there's stuff out there. Talking about lifelines, there are lifelines out there available that work off a data sim and things like that. So there's stuff out available um,
You do just
to start
touching on
preparing.
that. And I'll come back to the question, but you do like Sims and mobiles and things as well, don't you?
That's right. Yeah,
Really good deals, and you do dual SIM and
that's it. Yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of
So
thing.
yeah, we've got access to primarily the three major networks being O2, Vodafone, and EE. We have got via another partnership. We have got access to free as well, so it covers off all of them essentially. But yeah, no, we can. Yeah, generally speaking, we can do better prices than going direct. Um, and
Excellent.
other benefits of mix and match between networks, move between networks. If
Mm-hmm.
I've had scenarios. We had one at the beginning of the year actually. That was on O2. Circumstances have changed for where they are, and it's not so good there. So we've moved across to Vodafone this year.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
and there's no impact to their contract term.
Right.
So
Okay. I just swapped them over.
yeah,
The thing that interested me about the dual SIM, like I guess from an IT perspective in our
yeah,
business, where we're looking after clients that have maybe got a personal mobile phone and they don't want to carry a company phone because a lot of our clients, we're putting them through like Cyber Essentials certification and things, which
yeah,
basically stipulates you shouldn't have like email, Outlook on your personal phone, anything to do with
yeah,
the business. So we can lock that down so that can't happen. I mean, you can do policies for it. However, our recommendation would be to get a separate company mobile phone. And a bit like me, who have fought it for a long time, right? So I have two phones. So my
yeah,
own personal one and a company one, which we've restricted ours. So you've got Cyber Essentials. We've got like all the email on here. You can get into Teams, that kind of thing for work. So, and my
yeah,
phone system's on there. But what might be better for companies? is to use a dual SIM. Is that right?
Yep.
Where they can
That's
have
right. Yeah.
one device and the dual
Yeah.
SIM will cope with those two things. So you can separate business and personal and the
Yeah.
security.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. So that's been coming off the cybersecurities. It might be that two handsets is the better option from a cybersecurity point of view. But if we're dealing with, quite often we're dealing with micro businesses. Where it might only be a couple of people in the business, or they might be the owners of it. So saving on the
mhm,
cost, yeah, dual SIM can be very effective. I know my personal mobile, my mobile myself, I've got the personal SIM, I've got the business SIM, plus the VoIP system. There's so many numbers could get hold of me if people wanted to. It's crazy. Um, but it does give that clear distinction between whether it's a business call or a work call, whether it's
mhm,
coming through the SIM or coming through the VoIP system. Just yeah, it's got benefits, and I think that's where my passion from a micro business point of view is having that separation in some way, shape, or form between work and personal calls. Because
definitely.
you know, a lot of us, if we're starting out in business or been in business for a while, we've kind of set out for a reason to have more free time. Um, which is been in business a while. How's that working? How's
I
that
don't
working out
think
for
that
you?
that's how it ends up
Um,
working, Daniel, no.
no, no, that's it. How's it working out? But one way, you can have a bit of, I've changed it from work-life balance. I used to refer to it as work-life balance. I've started calling it work-life boundaries.
Yeah.
Because people
Good
told me
point.
work-life balance doesn't exist. Um, so yeah, work-life boundaries and just have the separation between work and personal from a phone call point of view, because then you've got that chance to switch off at least
Mhm.
in some way.
Yeah,
Um,
you
and
do.
that's where second sim's an option. I've had a few scenarios where we've gone down, we've talked about the benefits of VoIP with people, and I think a lot of people didn't realize that was an option. Coming back to the beginning of the call, that you could have it as an app on your phone, because it's just more benefits to it. From my point of view, that you can
Mm.
have a time schedule to it. So you've got your work hours. The calls only come through during work hours and not afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, definitely beneficial. That'd be good for like, sole traders and,
Yeah,
smaller micro businesses as well, really, wouldn't it? Just having that
yeah,
separate.
absolutely.
Um, and I know like my partner, he's sole trader. His one phone, he gets all the calls on it.
Yeah,
And he tends to just answer the calls anytime that they
yeah,
come in, it's business, isn't it? So yeah,
yeah,
it might be
exactly.
an idea to think about separating that at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's something I was going to ask you. It's like going right out of my head. Oh, I know what it was. It was I wasn't actually asking you anything. It was just in terms of the functionality of the VoIP system that we've got through yourself. Um, I wanted to get like I didn't really want to use the sort of standard on hold music or
yeah,
um you know, I know you can do very clever things. It's built in. It'll
yeah,
do text to speech AI, and it's pretty good actually. That's what I used at
yeah,
Christmas time. I just typed in what the message was and asked for a Scottish voice, a female voice, and off it went. And to be fair, you leave some spaces to make sure there's pauses and whatever, and
yeah,
job. Um, but I've also got a company to record, like voice actor who's recorded three I don't know what you would call them, voice files effectively. So one
yeah,
for out of hours, one if they get put on hold, so a bit of chat about our company and anything that we've got, maybe special offers or whatever. And then another one, if we don't get the call, we miss the call. Sometimes it can be really busy. It goes to voicemail, which I know is very frustrating for our clients, but it's basically been worded in a nice way, but we will phone you back within 10 minutes.
yeah,
And what's nice about the system is it just allows me to upload it
yeah.
straight from the recording that they've sent me into the right places. Now, I'm not going to lie, I haven't uploaded it yet. I got it yesterday. Might need some help with.
That's fine.
I think I know where I'm putting it, but I might just check in with you to make sure it's going to the right place. But
Yeah, of course.
it's just that easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
To be able to change them as well, to be able to change them
yeah,
for
exactly.
Easter closing times or, holidays.
Yeah,
Or there's just, something like last, I know you're down in Kent, but a couple of weekends ago we had horrendous storms here.
yeah,
Red warnings in Scotland. Nobody could go out. Businesses couldn't function. Well, they could, but they had to work from home, and most of them. Um, and I guess a lot of people would understand if they phoned the company, then, they're not going to get through. But
yeah,
I think, so I'm just getting rid of this message. I think from their point of view, if they could have put on a message quickly to say, we are closed because of a red
yeah,
alert of, we can't operate the office. But yeah, it's good to be able to have that functionality. I really like
yeah,
that. So
yeah, absolutely.
that's a bonus for me. I just, if I have that sort of dynamic changes that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think for you, like, you're sort of looking for companies. What would your ideal client be if you were looking to help companies? What would that be?
Yeah, so our current base tends to, we're kind of the micro small business scale, so it's anything from one man bands to 50 employees is kind of our bracket. Now, consistently, I'd love, if we've got businesses we've got between 10 and 20 staff would be a nice sweet spot for us.
Right, okay.
Um, and that could be across any sector, any industry really, because everyone
Any
needs a phone of some
location?
description, any location exactly. So that's it. So yeah, currently our customer base now ranges. We've gone even further than yourself into Scotland now as well. Actually, gone sort of just across from Inverness is
Okay.
our furthest north now, and furthest south is sort of Dorset direction. So
Right.
um,
Cool.
we're gradually expanding across the UK, which is nice. Um,
To get Ireland
that is
and something
that's
in
it. Yeah, get
Wales.
across. Absolutely, that's it. Yeah, it's covering them all off. So
Get up to
that's
somebody up in Orkney or something. There you go.
that's it. That'd be nice. So
Do you
yeah.
have
Anyway,
people ask me this question quite often. Like, what is the funniest story you've ever encountered when dealing with somebody? And I always struggle because they happen
yeah,
at the time and then you forget them. I was asked the other day, I was like, oh, there's been a few. I don't know if I
yeah,
can.
exactly. No, yeah, I was trying to pin one down for that. Um, oh, that's a difficult one.
Anybody done any crazy recordings or anything?
We've been some unusual recordings through there. Um, oh, that is a
No,
tough one. That is.
no, just wondered. Something to think
Yeah,
about,
no,
isn't it?
that's it. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. Yeah, yeah. I've had a few scenarios where people might buy an IP, a VoIP enabled handset off the internet and just plug it in the wall, hoping it's going to work like an
Ah,
analog, and it
yeah.
doesn't. Um, had that a few times, but
I'll buy my own stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to go buy this phone looks nice off Amazon.
It's like
Others are available, and
the toy,
yeah,
the toy, toy telephones you got as a kid. You're probably too young, but you used to get toy telephones,
yeah,
and they were disconnected with a cable, like
yeah. That's it.
from one room to another. We read telephones. So thank you, Daniel. Thanks for
No, you're welcome.
having a chat with me and telling everyone a bit more about what you do. So
No,
I will catch up with you at some point soon, no doubt.
absolutely. No, thanks for having us on. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yep. So thanks again, Daniel. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And you, thank you.
See you soon. Bye bye.